In 2025, surviving the unexpected is no longer just a choice. It's a matter of life and death. Global crises, extreme weather events, and economic collapse are no longer hypothetical scenarios. They're happening right now. And if you're not prepared, you could be left vulnerable when the worst strikes. But here's the chilling truth. Having the right supplies isn't enough. In times of crisis, desperation can drive people to do unspeakable things. So when you're making your stapling tab, consider these two things. Your response time, those carefully stored resources meant to protect your loved ones, could quickly become a target for neighbors or even strangers. In this video, we'll reveal 10 essential survival items you absolutely must keep hidden from your neighbors. These items could be the difference between life and death when society unravels, but only if you manage to keep them a secret. Watch closely as we dive into the items you can't afford to let anyone know about, because in 2025, survival might depend on your ability to stay hidden. 1. Firearms. In a world where society can collapse in an instant, firearms are not just a luxury, they're a necessity. But here's the unsettling truth. Having a weapon to protect your family or hunt for food is both a blessing and a curse. Yes, firearms give you the power to defend yourself and loved ones, but they also make you a target in desperate times. Picture this. A world where food is scarce, supplies are low, and lawlessness is spreading. People will do whatever it takes to survive. In such a dangerous environment, your firearm could be the key to survival, giving you an edge in protecting your home, your food, and your family. But it also makes you a prime target for anyone who knows you have it. It's a bitter reality to face. The very thing that can protect you could also be used to bring you harm if the wrong eyes catch wind of it. The key to ensuring your safety is not just in owning a gun, but in how you store it. If your neighbors, or anyone else for that matter, knows that you have a weapon, they could be driven by desperation to take it from you. That's why you must be absolutely stealthy about where and how you keep it. The only people who should even be aware of your firearms are those you trust implicitly, people who can keep that information sealed tight. And don't make the mistake of thinking you can just buy a gun and leave it sitting there. You need to practice with it regularly, know how to use it under pressure. In a crisis, hesitation could cost you everything. But don't just stop at knowing how to shoot. Understand when to use it, and when to stay silent and hidden. The more prepared you are, the less likely you are to become a casualty in the chaos. Remember, firearms aren't just a defense tool, they're a potential lifeline. But if you're not careful, they could be the very thing that leads to your downfall. So, lock them away, keep them hidden. Your survival depends on it. 2. Portable stoves and fuel. When disaster strikes, one of the first things to go will be your access to reliable heat and cooking. The power goes out, the gas lines are shut down, and you're left in the dark, cold, and hungry. Without a way to cook, your chances of survival quickly plummet. That's where portable stoves and fuel become absolute lifesavers. But also items you must keep hidden at all costs. These portable stoves are small, efficient, and built for tough times. Whether you're cooking inside or using it outdoors, these stoves are designed to provide hot food and boiling water in emergencies. They run on fuels like butane or propane, making them easy to transport and store. In a world where finding food and keeping warm will be critical, being able to cook can make all the difference between life and death. But here's the catch. If others find out you have one, they will likely do whatever it takes to get their hands on it. The fuel you keep for your stove is just as important as the stove itself. In times of chaos, you'll need more than just a few canisters. It's about having enough to ensure you're not caught off guard when you're running low. But like with any valuable resource, fuel becomes a target in desperate times. Imagine a scenario where your neighbors know you've got spare fuel canisters. What do you think they'll do when the crisis hits? The key to survival is not just having the tools, but keeping them secret. Hide your portable stove and fuel in hard-to-reach places, where nobody would think to look. Better yet, split your supplies up and store them in multiple locations around your property. That way, if you need to make a quick escape, you won't be left empty-handed. Food and warmth are basic human needs, but in a world gone mad, they'll become commodities others will fight for. And having the ability to cook might be a luxury you're willing to keep secret. But in these terrifying times, it's a luxury that could save your life. Make sure your stove and fuel stay hidden, because the moment someone knows you have them, your survival becomes their goal. Keep it quiet, keep it safe, your life might depend on it. 3. Long-laddering freeze-dried food. In a world on the brink of collapse, food will quickly become one of the most coveted resources. When stores are empty, the power is out, and supply chains are in ruins, having a reliable stash of food could mean the difference between life and death. But there's one type of food that is your secret weapon in these dark times: long-lasting freeze-dried food. Freeze-dried food is not just convenient, it's a lifesaver. Through a process of extreme dehydration, the moisture is sucked out of the food, leaving it lightweight, compact, and able to last for up to 25 years when stored correctly. It retains almost all of its nutrients, meaning you're not just eating empty calories. This food has been trusted by astronauts, survivalists, and adventurers because it's not only long-lasting but easy to carry and prepare. With just hot water, you can transform a pouch of freeze-dried food into a hearty meal in minutes, whether it's stews, pasta, fruits, or even desserts. But here's the nightmare scenario you need to prepare for. In a true crisis, others will be desperate and hungry. If anyone discovers you've stockpiled freeze-dried food, you could become their next target. In a world where chaos reigns, your neighbors might not care about boundaries or personal property. They'll care about surviving, and they'll stop at nothing to take what you have. That's why your freeze-dried food stash needs to stay hidden. Out of sight, out of mind. Store it in locations that are nearly impossible to find. If people know you have food that lasts years, you're just painting a target on your back. But don't just store it in one place. Rotate your supplies and scatter them around. This way, if you need to move quickly, you'll still have what you need to survive. The beauty of freeze-dried food is not just in its convenience, but in its ability to give you control over your survival when everything else is spiraling out of control. It ensures you can feed your family no matter how dire the situation becomes. But that peace of mind is only yours as long as you keep it hidden. Remember, in 2025, the more you stockpile, the more people will start to notice, and the more danger you'll be in. Keep your stash safe, keep it secret. The last thing you want is to face a mob of desperate people who know exactly where you're hiding your food. 4. Home fortification equipment. In 2025, your home is no longer just a place to rest. It's your last line of defense. When everything else falls apart and society begins to unravel, protecting your family and resources becomes your #1 priority. But fortifying your home isn't as simple as putting up a few locks or setting up an alarm system. And the secret? Keep it hidden. Reinforced locks, sturdy doors, and barred windows are basic elements of home security, but they can only do so much. In a crisis, when law and order break down, you'll need more than just basic protections. Advanced measures, like security cameras, motion detectors, and even safe rooms, will provide you with an edge, but they also make you a target if the wrong eyes catch sight of them. If your home looks like a fortress, you can be sure that desperate people will start circling, eyeing your property as a potential prize. The real trick to fortifying your home is discretion. If everyone around you knows you're heavily armed with security measures, your home will become a beacon for those looking to loot and steal. Instead of drawing attention, take a subtle approach. Make improvements gradually, without raising suspicion. Installing extra security or building hidden safe rooms should be done carefully, without discussing it with your neighbors or anyone you don't fully trust. The more people know, the more likely you'll become a target. And while fortifying your home can give you peace of mind, it's not a foolproof plan. Stay one step ahead. Regularly check your security systems, keep everything maintained, and don't wait until the crisis hits to test their effectiveness. Know that no matter how strong your defenses are, you might have to leave at some point. Always have an escape plan ready, because a sudden breach could force you to abandon your fortress at a moment's notice. Your home may be your sanctuary, but in 2025, it could also be your grave if you're not careful. The more visible your fortification, the more likely it is to attract unwanted attention. Don't let your security become your downfall. Keep it hidden, keep it secure, and keep it secret. When everyone else is scrambling for safety, you'll have a stronghold. But only if you play it smart and make sure no one knows what you've done to protect yourself. 5. Foldable solar lanterns. In a world where darkness will soon become your most feared enemy, having a reliable source of light is not just a luxury, it's a matter of survival. Foldable solar lanterns are one of the most underestimated survival tools, yet in 2025, they could mean the difference between life and death. These lanterns harness the power of the sun, absorbing its energy during the day and storing it in an internal battery, providing light when the power grid is long gone and traditional batteries are impossible to find. The beauty of foldable solar lanterns lies in their self-sufficiency. You don't need to worry about scrambling for batteries, and you certainly don't need to hope that a gas-powered generator will still be functional when the lights go out. As long as there's sunlight, these lanterns will charge themselves, providing you with a steady, reliable light source. And unlike traditional lanterns, these are lightweight, compact, and portable. Perfect for emergencies, camping trips, or long-term power outages. However, this self-sufficiency makes these lanterns highly valuable, and that's where the danger lies. when others are stumbling around in the dark, trying to find any way to light their path. Knowing that you have a solar lantern could spark envy and greed. In a crisis, where desperation fuels every decision, a small advantage like reliable lighting could make you a target. That's why your solar lanterns need to stay hidden. Charge them regularly and store them in a place where they can absorb sunlight without alerting your neighbors. The more you keep your resources to yourself, the safer you'll be. Imagine the chaos when the power goes out, and suddenly you're the only one with light. Everyone around you will be searching for a way to get a glimpse of that light, and if they find out you've been hoarding solar lanterns, they'll stop at nothing to take them from you. Don't let your preparedness be your downfall. Keep your solar lanterns tucked away, where no one can see them charging or even suspect their existence. A reliable light source will not only make your tasks easier in the darkness, but it'll also give you a psychological edge, the ability to see while everyone else is blind. But that power comes at a cost, and it's up to you to keep that light hidden. When darkness falls and survival instincts kick in, don't let your lanterns be the thing that leads the wrong people straight to your door. Keep them out of sight, and keep them for yourself. 6. Walkie Talkies. When society crumbles, the first thing to go will likely be communication. Cell phones will become useless, and with them your connection to the outside world. But there's one survival tool that could change everything: walkie talkies. In a world where chaos reigns and the power grid is down, having a reliable communication system is essential. Walkie-talkies give you the power to stay in contact with your loved ones, coordinate with others, and maintain control when everything else seems to be falling apart. Unlike your phone, which relies on cell towers that can be shut down or destroyed, walkie-talkies operate independently of any infrastructure. They're self-contained, allowing you to communicate in the middle of a crisis without worrying about whether or not the towers are still standing. Whether you need to check in with family members across your property, receive important information from nearby survivors, or simply stay updated on the rapidly changing situation, these devices are your lifeline. But here's the catch. Walkie-talkies are extremely valuable, and in the desperation of a collapse, they can become a target. Everyone else who didn't plan ahead will be scrambling for ways to communicate, and if they find out you have walkie-talkies, they will stop at nothing to get their hands on them. This is why secrecy is key. You cannot afford to let anyone know you have them. Next danger? The next danger? Tracking. While your cell phone can easily be traced, walkie-talkies are harder to intercept, but not impossible. That's why it's critical to learn how to use them efficiently. From changing frequencies to ensuring you know when and where to broadcast. Make sure to practice before the situation gets dire so you're not fumbling with buttons when you need them most. Keep your walkie-talkies out of sight and store them in a hidden, secure location. If your neighbors catch wind that you're able to communicate while they're in the dark, it could spell disaster for you. Their desperation could quickly turn to hostility, and your walkie-talkies could be the one thing they're willing to fight you for. In the midst of chaos, communication is power. Having the right tools to stay in contact could make all the difference between survival and becoming just another lost soul in the wreckage. Keep your devices hidden and your conversations secure. When the world falls apart, the last thing you want is someone listening in on your every word. 7. An indoor hydroponic system. In a world on the brink of collapse, food will become one of your most precious commodities. With grocery stores wiped out, supply chains broken, and the world spiraling into chaos, the ability to grow your own food could be your salvation. And there's no better way to achieve self-sufficiency than with an indoor hydroponic system. A highly efficient, soil-free method of growing fresh, nutrient-packed vegetables right inside your home. Hydroponics is a game-changer. By using water and nutrients, this system allows you to grow crops like lettuce, spinach, and tomatoes without the need for soil or fertile land. Whether you're living in a small apartment or a cramped urban space, an indoor hydroponic system can give you the ability to grow fresh produce all year long, regardless of weather conditions or soil quality. It's an easy, reliable, and sustainable way to ensure your family has access to food, even when stores are empty and desperate people are raiding the shelves. But this convenience comes at a huge risk. When food becomes scarce, people will stop at nothing to get it. And if your neighbors, who have nothing left to eat, discover that you have a thriving, self-sustaining garden growing right under their noses, your home could quickly become their next target. You'll become a prize in their eyes, something they'll be willing to fight for in a crisis. That's why secrecy is absolutely essential. Make sure to keep your hydroponic system hidden, tucked away in a place where it can't be seen by prying eyes, like a basement, a closet, or a private room that you rarely let others near. The last thing you want is for people to know that you have a fresh food supply while they're starving. And never, ever boast about your hidden garden, as tempting as it may be to share your success. Your independence is your advantage, but only if you can protect it. Your attitude is a big deal, said Tom. The self-sufficiency that an indoor hydroponic system offers is invaluable, but it can also be the very thing that puts your family at risk. Guard it fiercely, keep it out of sight, and prepare for the day when the people around you are no longer neighbors, but hungry threats, willing to do anything to survive. Knives and multi-tools. In the unforgiving chaos of a crisis, having the right tools at your disposal can mean the difference between survival and disaster. Among the most critical of these tools are knives and multi-tools, simple yet powerful instruments that are indispensable in almost any emergency scenario. These versatile tools can help you tackle everything from cutting ropes and preparing food to building shelters, fixing gear, and even defending yourself when necessary. However, a good knife is more than just a blade. It's a lifeline. Whether you're cutting through tough materials, preparing a meal, or using it to carve wood for fire, it can be your survival companion. In fact, knives are vital in nearly every aspect of self-sufficiency. You could rely on them to scavenge for supplies, repair tools, or even construct essential items to protect yourself. Multi-tool bring that same versatility to a whole new level. These compact all-in-one devices can include everything from pliers, screwdrivers, scissors, and even mini-saws. Perfect for a range of tasks, they can be a real game-changer when you're up against limited resources. Having a multi-tool in your pocket during a crisis could save you valuable time and effort, and in some cases, even save your life. But there's a catch. While knives and multi-tools are incredibly useful, they can also become highly coveted items during a disaster. If your neighbors, or worse, strangers, find out you have an arsenal of tools at your disposal, your safety could be compromised. People in desperation will stop at nothing to get their hands on anything that can help them survive, and your tools will become a target. That's why secrecy is key. Store your knives and multi-tools in a place where only you and your trusted family members can access them. A locked box or hidden compartment is a great idea. The last thing you want is to advertise your preparedness to the wrong people. And don't forget to practice. Knowing how to use your knives and multi-tool effectively before a crisis strikes is vital. In an emergency, the last thing you want is to be fumbling with tools you've never fully mastered. The wrong hands could easily turn a knife or multi-tool into a weapon against you, so it's crucial to be prepared and strategic. In these uncertain times, these tools are more than just items. They're essential weapons for survival. Keep them concealed, keep them close, and never let your preparedness become a weakness in the eyes of others. 9. Crank radio. When society unravels and everything seems to fall apart, one thing remains vital: information. Whether it's staying updated on the weather, hearing emergency alerts, or receiving critical news, knowing what's happening around you could be the only thing that saves your life. But how do you stay informed when the power goes out and your phone's battery is dead? That's where a crank radio becomes your lifeline. Next, unlike traditional radios which rely on electricity or disposable batteries, a crank radio is powered by you. Just a few turns of the crank and you can access real-time updates, even during an extended blackout or widespread disaster. This makes it an essential survival tool for anyone who wants to remain connected when all other communication channels fail. In a crisis situation, staying informed could mean the difference between making life-saving decisions or falling into the chaos around you. A crank radio allows you to tune into emergency broadcasts, local weather updates, and government warnings, all of which are critical when you're trying to navigate through uncertainty. Some models even come with built-in flashlights, USB ports to charge your phone, and emergency alarms to alert you if danger is near. It's a multi-purpose device that ensures you won't be left in the dark, literally or figuratively. However, here's the catch. If others discover you have access to vital information when most people are in the dark, you'll quickly become a target. Desperate individuals who have no way of staying informed will start seeking out sources of knowledge, and if they know you've got a crank radio, you might find yourself in their crosshairs. They'll stop at nothing to gain control over your privileges. That's why discretion is key. Store your crank radio in a safe, concealed location where only trusted individuals know about it. Make sure you're familiar with all its features so you can operate it quickly and efficiently when every second counts. Practice using the crank and tuning into emergency stations. When the time comes, you won't want to waste a single moment fumbling with your device. 10. Camouflage gear. In a world where chaos is just a moment away, staying hidden can be your most powerful weapon. Whether it's avoiding dangerous people, hiding your supplies, or escaping from a threatening situation, camouflage gear could mean the difference between life and death. Picture this. The world around you is crumbling. Desperation sets in, and people will do anything to survive. You're in such a scenario, the ability to blend into your surroundings undetected could save you from becoming a target. Camouflage gear isn't just about wearing clothes that match nature. It's about disappearing from the radar entirely. From stealthy clothing that merges seamlessly with the environment to tarps that can cover and conceal your supplies or even your vehicle, this gear is about staying unseen. Thermal camouflage gear, designed to hide your heat signature, is another game changer, especially in cold conditions where you might otherwise be picked up by infrared or thermal scanners. If you're trying to stay out of sight in rural or wooded areas, this could be your only chance to survive. But here's the dangerous truth. If anyone knows you've got this gear, you could become their next target. When food, shelter, and safety become scarce, people will resort to desperate measures. They'll want what you have, and knowing you can disappear without a trace will make you a threat in their eyes. Tactical advantage is everything, and if others realize you're equipped with the right camouflage gear, they won't hesitate to take it from you. The trick is to keep it hidden. Store it somewhere where only you and trusted individuals can access it. Learn how to use it, practice how to blend in, and make sure you have it ready before things go south. Camouflage gear can be the ultimate survival tool, but only if it's kept secret.